Scorpio and Ophiuchus, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for September 12th through the 18th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Scorpio and Ophiuchus, another very powerful week here in September, as it has been. In this case, we have a lunar eclipse taking place here in your fifth house. So the fifth house is about self-expression. It's about your creativity, perhaps, anything that's close to the heart and anything that you do create or, you put your energy into. So this is all coming to the forefront now. There's this status check, which is the full moon energy, the lunar eclipse, which is going to help you see more clearly this area of life, and particularly what's working with your self-expression and what's not. And over the past roughly year and a half, you've had the South Node transiting this fifth house, helping you release old patterns about self-expression, about creativity, about you essentially being who you are and expressing who you are. And perhaps having to do with your interests or hobbies. And again, things that are close to your heart. So whatever has been released, now there's this awareness in the last lunar eclipse, which will be in your fifth house for the next 16 years, at least regarding the South Node. And so this is going to be about this now final culmination of what you can do to release these older energies to free yourself up here, right? And continue to cultivate the healthier expressions of this self-expression. All right, so with that in mind, the whole life path is pushing you towards the career side of things or the public side of things or anything productive. This has been the North Node transitioning into your 10th house this year, suggesting the focal point, suggesting a good area for you to orient yourself consciously. And that's where the life path is taking you for the next year and a half. So with that being said, this lunar eclipse is going to be opposing up to Mercury retrograde, who is in that 10th house, suggesting now maybe some reworking, some rethinking, and reconsidering this career stuff or productive stuff in your life. So with that, it's a great time to learn during this Mercury retrograde. That's what the North Node's about anyways. So there's a lot of positive energy here for you to be, again, learning, reconsidering, and maybe reworking some of that productive stuff in your life. Now, the lunar eclipse is going to be conjoining up to Chiron, I do want to say. So especially for you, Ophiuchuses, this is your ruler. So now there's particularly for you this awareness about you, about your independence, about your goals, the things you want in life, your desires. Okay, and a lot of this is about, again, the expressive side of things or those things close to the heart. So great time to see that at the moment, to be aware of it. And again, let go of any old perspectives that aren't working for you, relating to yourself, relating to independence, and continue to cultivate what is working. All right, so I wanted to mention that, but for both of you, definitely healing taking place here regarding maybe some wounds about your self-expression, which you may have noticed has been coming to the forefront this year with Chiron shifting into your fifth house. So if you're feeling that, if you're feeling the doubts or insecurities or however it's manifesting, it's the typical situation of first being aware that we have them and accepting them, for how they are, for how we are. And, it's usually with Chiron more of an internal thing, right? So know that it's not an external thing. In other words, if you feel wounds about your self-expression, it's not that you're necessarily not good at it or that you don't have it or whatever it is. It's just it's an internal thing. It's an internal thing. It's an internal healing. And I think with this lunar eclipse, it's an excellent time to do that. And again, acceptance really is the key, because it's through acceptance that we transform and we can heal. So a very powerful lunar eclipse. It is collectively challenging, of course, because this whole solar eclipse cycle has been, as you can see here, these T-squares. This lunar eclipse is going to be particularly emphasizing the T-square with Mars. So both of your traditional rulers in your first house. So extra attention here on, again, the self, on what you're maybe motivated towards or have been motivated towards with Mars in your first house. There has been responsibilities maybe lately, hopefully helping you stay nice and grounded with your independence and with the things you're focused on. But with Mars in square, this can be maybe irritating. Maybe it's a bit of tension this week, okay, because it's your ruler. So if you're feeling that, it's a good week to pause. It's a good week to take a breath, step back for a second, watch any rash decisions, any rash actions. We don't want to rush into things with Mars in a square like this. And so it's a good week to evaluate, a good week to create some space. And maybe if it's more on the under extreme, if you're feeling like there's some things you might need to do or some actions you might need to take which are uncomfortable, which is the square, maybe this is the week to do that, again, with awareness, so it's done in a nice, healthy, and balanced way. All right, so very important there, involving your ruler Mars in this T-square. And this strongest energy of the lunar eclipse will be around Friday, but all week, pretty much, we've got this kind of energy. Looking here at Monday and Tuesday, we've got Mercury retrograde over the sun and squaring Mars again. So extra attention on the communication these first couple days. Again, this whole reconsideration can be great for you regarding the career or productive life. The sun is going to be shifting into your 11th house this week, so there is this shift of focus, which is a positive one, towards your aspirations and maybe towards the value you derive from your work, whether it's the finances or other value and satisfaction you derive from your work. It's good to focus on that. I think you naturally will be. There's been a lot of positive energy here with this because Jupiter has been in your 11th house and will be for about the next year and a half, helping you see opportunities to, again, derive value from that career front. And maybe connect with community, maybe do some networking and pursue those aspirations. So good to have Jupiter there. Could be focused on that. Great source of energy. It's the future moving type of things, aspirations. Venus is here, perhaps emphasizing relationships such as friends or group relationships. But definitely this shift. So that's the middle part of the week. And then as we go into the weekend, Mars, your traditional ruler, trining up to Uranus, could be lifting things up a bit. So although your Mars is certainly getting the challenging aspects this week, the trine up to Uranus is suggesting maybe over the weekend lightening that up a bit. Maybe there is a bit of freedom with your self-expression, a bit of individuality there coming through. Could be exciting, could be different. It's very supportive with that. All right, so that again has been Uranus in your 5th house over many years, 7 years, helping you find the freedom of being who you are, expressing who you are, and accessing that inner flame. All right, and Uranus will be opposing up to Venus over the weekend as well. So balance is important, of course, with the self-expression. The balance here is with those aspirations, maybe with those relationships, those group things that is unfolding for you. Just want to make sure that we are seeing that they're really just two sides of the same coin, that our groups, our friends, our aspirations need us to be expressing ourselves and to be doing things that are in alignment with our inner spark, and vice versa. In order to express ourselves, to have that joy and fun, we do have to be connected to something larger than us, something larger than self. And so it's a good weekend to see that as well. All right, so Scorpio and Ophiuchus this week, certainly emphasizing this lunar eclipse. It is going to be in your 5th house of self-expression. It's a great time to evaluate this, see if there's any wounds around this. For you Ophiuchuses, particularly your identity, your independence, right? Great time to do that status check. Squaring up to Mars, though, for both of you, suggesting a pause, importance of having this balanced and tactful way of getting things done, yet getting things done in a slow and steady and grounded fashion. And all this is all in the larger scope of things, all pointing towards this time now for you to put energy into the productive life, the public life, the career for most of you. So lots to learn with Mercury retrograde. It's great to be adaptive, to try new things at the moment, and reconsider this area. All right, so Scorpio and Ophiuchus, hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week.